Yeah.
My name is Traci Lewis. It's my honor to present to you the material from this incredible book, 101 Ways to Lead Generate in Real Estate, by my mentor and wonderful friend, Mr. Frederick. Whenever we were first being courted by EXP, we were introduced to EXP by a mutual friend of ours, and Gene was living in Austin, and so we made the trek to Austin, and we had a 4.5-hour lunch at the Capitol Grill with this gentleman, and after about 10 minutes of meeting him, I knew that this is a man I wanted to be in business with. He used to own 6 Keller Williams franchises, including the ones in like Cupertino and in that Northern California marketplace, very, very expensive, and he actually sold those to jump on board with EXP. So anyway, it's an honor to present his groundbreaking material, and I have a whole lot on 101 Ways to Lead Generate. We're going to skip through a few of these slides, so just in the interest of time. So let's get started. Okay, number 1, garage and estate sales. So I know that garage sales are kind of a thing of the past, but have you noticed that estate sales have continued to grow by leaps and bounds? Absolutely. And the wonderful thing about going to an estate sale is you're going to meet a lot of people that are in all kinds of transition, whether they're looking to actually the ones that are hosting the estate sales, or whether the ones that are actually looking for furniture. There's always a good reason that somebody's in that mode, and it's usually because they're in the mood for real estate. Also, people that run estate sale companies. Those can be your very, very best friends on earth. Do some co-op marketing with those folks. Help them promote their business, and I promise you they will return the favor. Car dealers, what does your customer drive? So this is another really great lead generation source. Whenever you go and you purchase your own car, or anytime that you go, you know how you can go to the car dealerships and they'll wash your car for free, you know? Those are great opportunities for you to walk around, meet the salespeople. For the most part, especially if you go in the middle of the afternoon, they're not busy, they're there, and you can switch cards, and you can make sure that people understand that you're there to serve them and they're there to serve you. These car dealers can also be really great referral sources whenever you host luncheons. They're awesome sponsors quite often as well, because they know that us real estate agents can connect them to lots and lots and lots of buyers. Furniture sales. So anytime that you've got some extra time, that you go to a furniture store, talk to the salespeople, go at off times when you know that they're probably not going to be very busy. You know, at 1:30 on a Tuesday afternoon, or at 4 o'clock on a Monday, whenever the sun is shining and the birds are singing and no one is looking at furniture. Great opportunities. These are people that know folks that are in transition. And again, as always, you're going to want to make sure that you let those furniture salespeople know, and all these salespeople know, that you are there to serve them. When you come from a place of contribution, people are always going to want to return the favor. Airlines, this is our awesome friend, Mr. Pat Hayes. And literally, when he gets on an airline, it's wildly entertaining. He'll carry his sign. Is that hysterical or is that hysterical? I know. And as you can see, there's like no place to put it very gracefully, so he's walking up and down. Gee, where do I put it? So you got to have a little bit more guts than the average person to pull this off. But I can guarantee it's going to get you a whole lot of attention. And it's worked extremely well for Mr. Hayes. He's making a massive residual income with this spectacular company, EXP Realty. Local schools. Okay, so a really great thing is that you can bribe your kids to get you real estate deals, right? Okay, you want to go to Disney? Let me tell you how we do it. You talk to your friends, you talk to your friends' parents, you go, wait a minute, you're selling a house? The market's really good. My dad says this is a great time to sell. Put those munchkins to work for you and get these schools to be a part of that as well. We're going to talk about more of that in a little bit. PTA, be your kid's biggest fan, be part of the PTA organization. Make sure that you wear your name badge every single where that you go. This is the first time I haven't worn my name badge in forever and ever. I wore it to dinner last night. They were making fun of me, right? I think I must have left it in the hotel room. But literally, that's a really great opportunity. Those are parents that you're already connected to. And because they know that you live in the same school district that they live in, they have a huge vested interest in keeping those sales prices high, just like you do. So they're much more likely to do business with people that have a vested interest in keeping those prices high. Join the band booster club, join the choir band booster club, join your local sports booster club. The more involved that you can get in your kids' schools, the more money you should make in the real estate industry. And again, be an advertiser in these places as well. That goes a lot further than you might think, especially if you're smiling faces in those pictures, right? And if you gather a bunch of the kids to be in the ads for you, that gets you even more promotion. Make sure that you're joining organizations that make sense for you and your kids, but definitely take advantage of those opportunities without any questions. Teachers and principals, numbers 10 and number 11. Make sure that your kids' teachers know that you're in real estate and that you're there to serve. Quite often, teachers know when there's going to be some changes in the family, right? Kids talk to their teachers very often. Same thing with principals. Principals know when teachers are coming in. Principals know when kids are moving out. They can be a tremendous resource for you. And again, if you're going to ask them to be supportive of you, you're going to want to be supportive of them as well. I can tell you, as a former school teacher, I taught school for 5 years. One of them in Detroit, where I learned a lot of new words and a lot of new combinations of words. Yeah. I can tell you that bringing a box of donuts or breakfast tacos to the teacher's lounge with some business cards will get you a lot further than you could ever imagine, okay? It works like a charm. It's like title companies bringing donuts to the real estate office, right? It's easy to bribe people, especially with sugar. Homeowners associations. Get involved in your homeowners association. Again, when people associate you and they understand that you are one of them and that you have a vested interest in keeping home prices up in a specific community, they're going to want to send you that business. They don't want to give that business to strangers. And if you make sure that the people in your homeowners association understand that, yes, you really want to make sure that sales prices are as high as humanly possible because it affects your bottom line as well, you're going to see your business skyrocket. Personal interest in local sports clubs. So this is a really spectacular way to get involved, you know, and a great way to stay fit as well. The more that you're out in the community, the more people that you are connecting with, the more business you're going to generate. We do business with people that we like and that we trust, and people that we are like. So the more folks that you can connect with on a very true personal level, the more business that you're going to make. And this is a great way to be authentic with your business. And quite often you're going to find that these kind of organizations also are always doing like some sort of little advertising programs as well. And that's a really cheap way to get your name out to people that already are immediately connected to you. The gym and your personal trainer. Now, personal trainers know rich people for the most part, correct? So I'm telling you, when you go to the gym, it's worth the investment in a personal trainer. If nothing else, simply to be able to get some really great referral business from those folks. And of course, going to the gym, always wear your logo, always wear your name badge, always wear a t-shirt that's got your contact information. I know it sounds kind of campy, but let me tell you, it works like a charm. There's nothing more powerful than wearing your brand. Country club. Okay, now I can speak to this one very personally. I, for 17 years, have been a member of the Dominion Country Club in San Antonio, Texas. It's the #1 rated country club facility in the great state of Texas. And I will tell you, that country club membership has never cost me a dime. I have always made infinitely more money off of that membership than it ever cost me. Not only have I been able to recruit spectacular real estate agents that are part of my country club, and that's been a huge referral source and a huge source of business for me, but on top of that, people that live in country clubs tend to have expensive homes. Can I get an amen on that? Yeah. This is, if you're going to take one piece of advice from me, I'm going to tell you, join the most expensive country club that you can join. I don't care what you have to mortgage in order to be able to do it. It is the absolute best referral source that you will ever get in your entire life. I can promise you that. So, and we have a funny story on that, but I'll tell that later. Apartments and pool areas. Okay, now sometimes this can get a little tricky, so you got to be able to make sure that you can get into these apartments and not be like creeping people out. You know, but if you have friends that live in apartments, you know, reach out to them and say, hey, you know what? I know the weather's going to be beautiful on Saturday. I'd love to come over and just hang out with you for a little while and hang out at the pool. If you live in an apartment, I can tell you that this is a spectacular referral source. And also, if you live in an apartment complex, if you'll do one of those like every door direct mailers that lets people know, hey, I live in the apartment complex, and if you've got any housing needs, I'm here to serve you. Most people that are in apartments are not in there for very long, and there's a reason that they're in there. So I can tell you this is extremely fertile ground for your real estate business. City and holiday celebrations. So this is a great way, again, to show that you're active in your particular community. The more times that you can get out and shake hands and kiss babies and be a part of what's going on in the public, the more money that you're going to make. And it also says just a lot about your character that you are involved in the community. Again, you want to make sure that you've got something on your shirt or something on your name tag that identifies you as a real estate professional. It is unbelievable the number of people that you can connect with at these big events, and plus you'll have a whole lot of fun and get more connected to your community. Whole Foods, yes, the store. Okay, you're going to see a common theme here, right? You want to be hanging out with wealthy people. Is that, can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? Absolutely, yeah. I was always so fascinated when I had my Century 21 office, because right around the corner from me, or from our office, there was a little bar that had 75-cent margaritas, right? And the ladies would come in and say, hey, you want to go to happy hour, 75-cent margaritas? And I would say, no, I don't want to hang out with anybody that thinks that it would be fun to have a 75-cent margarita, you know? So again, Whole Foods, who are you going to meet when you're hanging out at Whole Foods? You're going to hang out with people that first and foremost have the affluent level to be able to shop for what is perceived as the highest quality food. And on top of that, you're going to be talking to people that are within a specific radius of hopefully the exact place that you want to do business. Nursing homes and assisted living. Let me tell you, this is a gold mine and a growing gold mine. The people that run those assisted living centers are always looking for people to come in and make donations and things like that. If you go in and you become a constant source, if you're bringing in some donuts to those people, to the staff members, to the nurses, and let them know who you are, leaving some business cards, this is a spectacular resource. When people put their parents in assisted living centers, they usually, very often, are in cities that they're not familiar with, and they have a lot of decisions that they have to make. And if they're putting their parents in an assisted living center, then you know that they are putting a lot of trust in that administrator sitting across the table from them. You would be dumbfounded at how just having some business cards on that person's desk, or some little magnets, or some giveaways, any kind of little promotional items that might make sense, will get you business tenfold. Again, you always want to come from a place of contribution. So you want to be there to donate things. Both my parents were in assisted living, and they always do things like bingo, and they needed prizes for bingo. So, just bringing a whole bunch of little trinkets will get you so much mileage. And again, it shows that you actually do have a care and concern for the people that you're looking to do business with. Poker and bunco parties. Okay, so anybody in here like in a little poker group, right? Absolutely. The more time that you can spend having some fun with your friends and neighbors, the more likely they're going to want to do business with you. It's all about connecting. You connect with people very differently in these kind of environments than you ever could just kind of on a day-to-day basis. So attend those meetings, have some fun, get to know your neighbors. That neighbors is spectacular. It's like a piece of art. That's gorgeous. College and Alumni Association. Okay, you can. I couldn't edit this. Okay, and so otherwise this would have been like Baylor Bears. So, but whatever the College Alumni Association is, and you want to know a little hint, you don't actually have to have gone to a college to join their Alumni Association events. Is that like a dirty little secret or what? Yeah. So, if you're in a city, like for example, if there's not an alumni group that makes sense for you, join one that you feel like would be very fluent and would help your business. This is a great way to connect with people as long as there's a legitimate reason that you're attending, like maybe you're really a big fan of their football team or something to that effect. Singles organizations, anything that you can do to get out there, to meet new people, to connect with people. And I'll tell you that single women are one of the fastest growing segments of the real estate purchasing population. So this is a spectacular way to make sure that you are getting your foot in the door with all kinds of people that are in transition. Your local cleaners, oh my gosh, Frederick is like famous for this one. Again, these are people that are always looking for new business. When you let them know, hey listen, whenever new people move into town, I'm going to tell them you've got the very best cleaning organization that there is. Can I just leave some of my cards here? Whenever you're doing business with anybody at all, always ask the question. Bring a little stand, the little plastic stands, so that they don't have to find one because they're not going to. And just say, hey, can I leave some of my cards here? And can I take a stack of yours? Reciprocity will get you so far. And if you walk into the dry cleaners, and again, you got a box of donuts or a box of M&Ms or something like that. Anything that you can do to connect with people, and I'll tell you, the research on this is absolutely fascinating. It's called the law of reciprocity. And if you read any of the books on influence, they really talk about this extensively. But has anybody bought a car recently? Have you been through that experience? Okay, so all right, skip back there. So there's a lot of research about car dealerships because that's such a big add-on item that people invest in. So if you go into a car dealership and they offer you a bottle of water or a cup of coffee and you accept it, you are infinitely more likely to do things like the undercarriage coatings and the window tinting, because the brain psychologically feels like, well, you owe them something. So you can literally buy people's loyalty for the price of a cup of coffee or a bottle of water. So whenever you're asking these people, when you're going in there, I'm telling you, having some little treats in your car that you can give them, Good, better, otherwise it's going to get you a lot further than you might imagine. Starbucks and local coffee shops. Again, you want to go where the coffee is expensive, correct? Yeah. This is not going to work the same at the Circle K as it is at Starbucks. But one of them, thanks for laughing. I'm a lot funnier if you're drinking tequila, I can promise you that. But one of the things that Gene Frederick talks about is getting a skin for your computer that you can order. And it says, I'm the best real estate agent in town. How about a free market analysis? Curious about what your home is worth? Ask me. So while you're sitting there at Starbucks, first of all, it gives people an excuse to connect with you. Often when people go to coffee shops, they are looking for love and connection, correct? That's one of the reasons that Starbucks has been so very successful. And they actually talk about how that's part of their mission statement, to basically give people another place to meet and connect. So whenever you actually tap into that, and you're there in a friendly, happy place, and you're approachable, you are going to be surprised at how your business is going to grow. And doctor's offices. So I just recently moved to Hollywood, Florida. And again, I wear my name badge like literally almost every single solitary day. And I walked into the dermatologist to do my Botox, right? And he's like, oh, ESP Realty. No, ESP Realty, right? So it gave me an opportunity to talk about it. You know, so while he's done in my face and all that kind of stuff, I'm talking about ESP Realty. I'm talking about the style, talking about how I recruit real estate agents. And I'm telling you, he was genuinely fascinated. It gave us something to talk about and something to connect with. Again, that's the power of logo wear. That's the power of wearing your name tag. And again, doctors are connectors. So it's the same thing. Hey, listen, I brought a bunch of my cards and a little card holder. Can I take some of yours? Could we maybe swap some business? So that is the first 25 of the 101 ways to lead generate. Now I'm going to turn the microphone over to one of the gentlemen that has radically revolutionized the real estate industry for lots of different reasons. I met Mr. Tom Trong about, what, a year and a half ago, something like that?
13
Almost
months.
13 glorious months, that's right. It seems like I've known you forever. Is that, anyway, the way that I was introduced to him is that we were really looking to connect with a specific segment in the real estate market, and that was the Asian American community. So I began asking questions of who is the most well-connected person in the Asian American real estate community, and one name kept coming up over and over and over and over again. It was Tom's. And from the first conversation that I had with him, I understood his passion about helping everybody move into spectacular homes, understand the joys of home ownership, and as importantly, helping real estate agents get off that hamster wheel. He used to own a very large real estate company and sold that at the absolute best time humanly possible. So he understands what it's like to be a real estate broker, to run a big company, to motivate a lot of agents, and also understood that the specific model that most of us have been working on under the real estate model is tragically broken for both the brokers and the real estate agents. And since coming on board with ESP, he's built one of the largest revenue share organizations within the company and maintain spectacular real estate production. He's become a great friend of mine, and I'm so honored to be in business with Mr. Tom Trong.
Yes, I don't know what with Tracy. How many feel like with those 25 tips you can go and get leads already?
Yeah.
You don't have to hear the rest of them, right? It's like enough already. So we're gonna switch back and forth. She's doing 25, I'm doing 25, so on and so forth. Okay. So let's see. As real estate agents, whether you're new or whether you're seasoned in the business, how many hours do you spend a week generating leads? This is interactive now. How many hours do you guys spend a week generating leads? Let's think about this. How many should you spend? How many?
25 hours.
25 hours. Okay, what else? If you're new, I would say yes. Right? How about the seasoned agents? Seasoned agents, anyone who's doing more than $5 million a year in sales volume. How many hours are you generating a week in leads? 10 hours, yep.
I'm probably 5. That's a huge sphere of influence.
Thank you. Did you hear that? Probably 5, because it's got a huge sphere of influence. So if you're newer in the business, 25 is probably the right number. All right? If you're seasoned in the business, no more than 5. Okay? I sell about, so in 2017, before I joined EXP, I sold $15 million in houses in the Boston market, and averaging $400,000 per house. That's about 30 to 36 deals. I close about 3 deals a month. Okay? In 2018, since I joined EXP, my sales volume went down. Better get your attention. Yes, my sales volume went down from 15 million to 13 million. It went down by $2 million, which is about 5 to 6 houses in the Boston market. But so at a reduction of 2 million, I can tell you that's $50,000 in commission that I took home. That was less in 17 over 18 because I joined EXP Realty. So you wonder why is this guy's, what's he trying to tell me, right? It's because I spent, before this business, without a lead generation system, without a database to tap into to work my sphere of influence while I'm sleeping 24 hours a day, a smart consumer relationship management database that allows the computer to drip on my clients, to interact with my clients as if I was texting them and emailing them. My lead generation time went from probably 10 hours a week to 5 hours a week. All right? And I gained more time for my family, to give back to my community, to do nonprofit work, to travel the country like I am today, to build EXP Realty, to attract agents to the team to help them do better. And as a result, the residual income, which you'll hear on the second part of this presentation after this 101 lead generation, has tripled. That is leverage, ladies and gentlemen. That is leverage. And so that is the power of why I'm so proud to wear this shirt all the time. Right? So let's keep on moving. Man, she did a wonderful job. You taught me quite a few things earlier. Right? I love it. And we do this. I've trained thousands of agents over the past 15 years as a real estate broker. Right? And man, if you just apply 20% of this 100, 20 points out of 100 this week, you're going to kill it this year. Don't do it all. Treat it as if this was a buffet that has more than you can consume. Just grab the top 20 things off of this buffet and consume that, and then run with it. Because if you try to do everything, you're going to fail miserably. Does that make sense? All right. So another thing we're going to do is, if you have gotten a lead, every time I throw up every time I throw up a number here, if you've got a lead from, all right? I am not telling you guys anything you don't already know. You've just got to be able to put together a CRM, a consumer relationship management database, collect those business cards, collect those names, collect those emails, wherever you travel, put them in a CRM, and have that CRM drip on them for you. Because the phone keeps ringing, and the emails keep ringing, and the emails keep coming, and the texts keep coming while you're sleeping. You wake up. How would you like to wake up to get a lead? Every day, wake up to get a lead. And then you assign it to your team. It's possible if you have a system, right? Don't be that agent that gets on a rat race every day, every week, every year. No CRM. You're chasing these leads all the time, year 1, year 2, year 5, 15 years in the business. I've coached plenty of agents, and after 15 years, they're still running the rat race. And at the end of the year, when you win, you're still a rat. Next year, you start all over again. All right, don't be that rat race. Don't. So, case of worship. Hey, I go to church with my wife. Okay, and yeah, it used to be that she didn't wear the EXP shirt. Now she does. You don't have to say anything. It just happens after church, right? They would come up to you, they tell me about the business. If there's a luncheon after church and stuff, or coffee, that happens. Right? So it's right there for you. Your personal hobby. What do you love to do? Wouldn't you like to do the things you love to do outside of selling houses? And be in business with people who do the same thing you want to do? Right? People do business with who they like and love. And so I like to play softball. Playing a softball, men's softball league every spring, every summer. All right, and so I get leads from my softball team. Right? Why would they want to take care of me? Door knocking. Is door knocking sexy or not? Oh yes! Door knocking is very sexy. If you have a listing, who are listing agents in the room? Or who wants to be listing agents? If you guys aren't door knocking, you are missing out. You are totally missing out. You door knock that street, and when you're done, you door knock the street next to it. You door knock a radius of 5 neighborhood. You let them know that, hey, I just picked up a listing. We're getting it clean. We're getting it staged.
A good partner to go door knocking with? The lenders.
Bam! Did you hear that?
So Tyler and I, we have some, I can't share everything, but.
Go ahead.
We, because I'm Vietnamese, a lot of the Vietnamese owners of the nail salons are, these people in Vietnamese.
That's right.
And he has other loan programs that cater to their business, their employees. So,
Yes.
get that covered.
Thank you, Victoria. And go knocking in twos. Absolutely.
Yes.
I should have said that at the beginning,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
One door knocks on this side of the street, one door knocks on that side of the street. You're watching each other so you're safe, right? If you lucked out and you actually get into a conversation and invite you in, then Victoria says, wait 1 second, my business partner Tyler's over there. Tyler, come on in. Does that make sense? So you door knock to promote a new listing that's coming on. You let them know, hey, I have a neighborhood open house. It's exclusive for you. My open house is this Sunday from 1 to 2. Why don't you guys come over from 10 to 12? I know you're not selling, but you must be curious to see what they've done to this home since they moved in. You would be amazed how many neighbors come over because they know they're not buying, they're not selling, but you're making a friend. Okay? And if you don't have listings, then door knock on listings that's new to your office. There's agents in the office that have listings. They might be too busy to door knock. You ask them, would you mind if I door knock? I know you're doing the open house on Sunday. Can I walk the neighborhood if you aren't doing it to help you advertise your property? And when you do, you're bringing your business cards, you're dropping off the properties that are on the market within a mile radius or something. You give them a market report, what's going on in the market for the last 6 months, for the last year, and it's your information on that information that's a leave behind. Yes? Does that make sense? It's awesome. I've trained so many agents who started as a rookie, and this year alone, 2 agents, this guy named Peter Chan, in 1 year, $3 million worth of sales as a rookie. And I believe this year he'll hit 6 million, and then next year he'll go to 12 million, and then 15 million, and then he'll start building a team. Absolutely impossible. Okay? Your local mall. How many vendors, how many stores are in the mall, how many clerks are working behind those malls? Just make sure that they know that you're in the local neighborhood, that you're a realtor, and leads should be coming. Okay? Horse shows and car shows. Texas Horseman's Directory. That's really cool. I like that. So this is Gene Frederick's. He goes there, right? So do you find wealthy people at horse shows and car shows?
The Equestrian Club too.
What's that?
The Equestrian Club too.
The Equestrian Club too. Okay. Has anyone got a lead from car shows and horse shows? Skip. Tell me. Tell us. How did you get that?
Polo Club, Boca Raton, go 4 or 5 times, meet the right people, let them know what you do, and you'll get a referral.
Right. And then once you're in the circle, hopefully you become that realtor of choice in that circle. Yes? Hospitals, doctors, nurses, even whoever it is in those hospitals. If you're going to, go ahead, Victoria.
HR relocations in hospitals.
Human resources relocations. Actually, matter of fact, human resources in most corporations, right? I live in Boston, and we have EMC, we have a lot of high-tech companies, and they're constantly moving people around. And so what my team does is we go in, and we make sure we talk to the HR department. We say, hey, we have a relocation service. Please make sure that if you have executives that comes in and they need short-term housing, then go ahead and let us know. We have access to Airbnb, we have access to home away, and we also have apartments that are for rent, or homes that are for rent that might not be on the open market on the multiple listing services. So let us know. We're your resource to help you find a place to place somebody for a month, for 2 months, or even a week if they don't want to live in a hotel. And then if they end up getting a permanent job, you place them in a permanent home. Got it? And doctors the same way. Visiting nurses, I have an Airbnb business, and we love renting to visiting nurses and visiting doctors. And then if they fall in love with the area, they end up buying from us. Okay? Local ice cream shops. Do kids hang out at ice cream shops? The parents love to go to ice cream shops. I don't know why I pay $4 for a scoop when I can buy a Breyers or for $3, right? But they love it. So just go to the ice cream shops. Sometimes those ice cream shops have advertising. They allow you to advertise on their boards or put a business card there. Okay? Have you guys seen those? Okay? Make sure you get there. Goodwill. Local Goodwill. So how would I get a lead out of local Goodwill? Well, do people who move drop off clothing at Goodwill? Drop off, stop donating. When you start thinking about selling a house, right? People don't want to throw stuff away. They start giving stuff away. They bring it to Goodwill. So you make a friend at the Goodwill. You let them know, hey, if you hear somebody starting thinking about moving, would you please refer my card? Refer me? Yes? Haircuts and salons. I need a haircut right now. I've been traveling so much. But when I go to get my haircut, right on the counter, there's always 3, 4, 5 business cards that have real estate agents on there. Ask. If you're doing this business, just ask, would you mind? I've been coming here for a year, 2 years, 10 years. Would you mind if I put my business card on the counter? And the people will come in, hopefully collect that card. Okay? As a matter of fact, blood banks. I hate giving blood. So this is not for me. I can't speak about this, but there you go. I've never gotten a lead from blood bank. Who has? Tracy, tell me about blood banks.
Well, I can tell you that when I was in college, I donated plasma. That was like, I made more money doing that per hour than anything else. But I don't think that I would have wanted to do real estate with any of the other people there giving plasma. So that's kind of out of my.
What's up? I can ask Chief Frederick, what do you mean by blood banks? All right, so we play golf, and when the kids came along, I played a lot less golf. But boy, and when you're playing golf and you have your golf partner for 4 hours, you've got the undivided attention, don't you? And if you're short for time, play 9-hole, it's only 2 hours. Okay? The way I play golf is I basically ride, if I play 18 holes when I was building the business, is I'm riding a cart with one guy, and then after 9 holes, we switch carts. So you build a relationship with the other guy or gal. All right, maximize your time, and you want to get to know them anyhow. Okay? Banks. I'll tell you a funny story, a good story. So I also flip houses. I have that franchise called We Buy Ugly Houses. You know those billboards? It's We Buy Ugly Houses. I'm one of 12 guys that have that franchise in Massachusetts. And I remember one day I was vacationing. I forget where I was. And my phone rings. It's my banker from Bank of America, Eric. Remember him? So he calls me. He goes, Tom, I've got a woman in my office, and she's crying. She's crying like crazy. She says that she's asked every real estate agent to come along to buy her house, to help her list her house, and the highest price that they would be willing to pay her is $120,000 for this home in this neighborhood, which averages about $500,000. And I said, Eric, what's going on? She goes, I don't know. She says no agent would want to list my house. So I'm like, okay, let me talk to her. She gets on the phone. Yeah, so the KW, they all came to my house. No one wants to list my house, and the most I can get is an investor to pay me $120,000. I said, what's wrong with it? She goes, well, it's kind of messy. It's kind of dirty. It's kind of, there's a lot of stuff in it. I'm like, all right, this is a hoarder's house. It's a hoarder's house. So I called my buddy, Andy, one of my agents. I said, Andy, I'm away on vacation. I need you to get to the house as soon as possible. So he did. Actually, it was my second call. The first guy wasn't there. So Andy runs to the house, and he opens up the door, and he can't step in. It smells. She has 3 pit bulls that she never lets out of the house. It is this thick in poop that's dried up over all these years. And the reason she has to sell is because she can't move anymore. She won't throw anything away. You can hardly walk down the hallway. I mean, the roof's a pile up this high. So we offered, $140,000. I actually offered $20,000 more. I paid it for cash, and I can tell you I made a lot of money in that house. And she was so happy. I have a video testimonial of her crying at the close of your table, saying, "Thank you so much. I could, you came from no one would pay me more than 120. You gave me 140." Okay? My banker called me on that one. Okay? Gas stations. So when I was in my heyday of selling houses, my car was basically plastered with my company name, Realty Direct. Right? It looked like a billboard. Do you know how many leads I got pumping gas? Right? Because they see me driving around the neighborhood. I'm committed to this business. I'm not part-time. I do this full-time. Right? My car basically had Realty Direct, and then it says, "Don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate, then wait." That was my tagline on my car. Okay? And I got so many leads pumping gas at the gas station. Local classes you're interested in. How about take a real estate class? Real estate, how to sell your house class. If you go to community colleges, there's classes that help teaches people how to sell houses, how to prepare houses for sale. Take one of those classes. There's friggin' 15, 20 people in there getting ready to sell their houses. That's one of the things, I taught my agents. I never went to it, but do that. But of course, there's other classes, right? Yoga class, whatever it is, finance class. Take those classes, and you'll meet a lot of people in that neighborhood. All right, mortgage companies. Where's Tyler? He took off? Do lenders have leads?
Yeah.
Be your best friend with your lender. Reciprocate. Right? If you're giving him leads, ask him for one once in a while, because he does give leads. Dick Lee gives me leads all the time. And I reciprocate by giving Dick leads back. Dick's also a mortgage broker in addition to being an EXP agent. Okay? Title companies, inspectors, and appraisers. Same idea, guys. Moving companies. So you guys have heard this before, right? Buy or sell your home and you can use this truck for free to move. Neat. But also work with moving companies. One of the things that we do is moving boxes. We have moving boxes that we print, your name on it, Team Tom Brown. When they get ready to move, basically go drop off 5 boxes, 10 boxes, what else do you need? Right? Personalized moving boxes. Do divorce attorneys know people who need to sell and buy houses? That's 3 deals right there. You sell one and you buy 2. It's a threesome. Got it? Okay. Same idea. During the short sale days, during the REO days, and the foreclosure days, these were my best friends, the bankruptcy judges and the people working in the court systems. Right? I had one of my agents who basically visited that every week religiously. And he would just be nice to the girls. We'd bring them donuts, and we'd bring the guys, coffee, and it says, "Hey, what new filings are happening today?" And he gives us a tip to buy ugly houses so we can flip houses or to list houses. Do marriage counselors know who's buying and selling houses? Okay? And relocation companies. So some relocation companies that don't have real estate brokerages. So affiliate with those guys, and they'll tip you off on buy and sell the leads. All right, Tracy, you're back up.
All right, I'm ready.
Woo!
Okay. All right, new home builder reps. This can be a huge gold mine for you. Again, you want to make sure that you're using that law of reciprocity. Make sure that you're sending your clients to these new home builder reps as well. Builders both small and large. Now, of course, we know that the larger builders often have very established and sometimes contractually obligated relationships with real estate agents, or they do it in-house. But the smaller builders don't have that luxury. So again, if you're really showing how you are promoting their businesses, especially as the market shifts, as we're starting to see right now, these folks are going to send you business. I can promise you that. HUD and VA foreclosures. Now, again, we haven't really seen this come into full effect just yet. Hopefully that won't come anytime soon, but how many of you survived 2006, 2007, 2008? Are there any of us in here? Yeah, absolutely. These are people that you want to make sure that you've already got connections with before those kind of markets pick back up. Bank short sales. I love what Tom said about the power of working with your local banker. Again, it's all about establishing relationships. And the relationships that you already have in business, you might as well let them know, hey, listen, I would love some business right back, and ask for that business. Other real estate agents. Now, I'm telling you what, of course, a big part of the beautiful part of EXP is that it motivates us to actually help our fellow real estate agents sell more properties because we have a vested interest in that. But the more real estate agents that you have connections with, the more real estate you should sell. And when you're taking listings, make sure that you tell your clients, hey, listen, I have a group of real estate agents that we get together every single week and we talk about what's going on in the industry. I'm going to be promoting your property there. Other real estate agents can be huge sources of referrals. And as we know, only about 1 out of every 2 real estate agents that are licensed actually sell a home in any given year. So a lot of people have their real estate license, but they don't actually want to go to the trouble of buying, listing, or working with buyers. So work out some referrals with those kind of folks. You'd be surprised at how many real estate agents would love that opportunity. Commercial agents. And I know in the great state of Texas, I don't know how it is here, but commercial agents aren't really even permitted to sell real estate usually, traditional real estate. These can be great referral sources. And commercial real estate agents know wealthy people. Can I get a hallelujah on that? So these can be a huge source of referral for you. Investor seminars. You know, like I said, I'm living in Hollywood, Florida now, and between Tampa and Miami, I think that there's a real estate investment seminar, like there's 7 or 8 every single solitary day, right? It's like such a huge business right now. So these are great places to meet people that have a huge vested interest in real estate. Most of them don't already have their real estate license. It's a great opportunity for you to say, you know what, I have the same goals you have. I understand that investors are different. I know the kind of properties that you're looking for. Do business with me. And these kind of people do business with you over and over and over and over again. These can make your business sing and dance. Apartment reps, leasing agents, and international real estate agents. I think that's one of the real powerful things about ARIA is that it does connect you with so many real estate agents that are working literally all over the world. When you capitalize on those relationships, you're going to see, again, your sales prices increase. One of the best things that I've always hammered on my real estate agents that I've worked with is that not only do you want to really focus on how you're doing business and how you're generating leads, but you always want to be focused on increasing your sales price too. Is that correct? I mean, how many of you really want to work any harder, right? That's ridiculous. How many of you would like to make a whole lot more money and work a whole lot less hours? Yeah, now you're talking my language. Absolutely. CPAs, huge referral source for several of our real estate agents. These people understand that when they're sitting down with their clients, quite often the best investment advice they can give them is, you need to sell a house, or you need to invest in real estate. When these CPAs know what you're doing and how you're doing business, and that you're sending them business, again, for the law of reciprocity, this can be a huge gold mine. This is somebody else that should have a huge stack of your cards, and you should be handing out their cards as well. Whenever your clients are buying or selling houses, you can tell that CPA, you know what, I'm going to make sure that I refer you, and I would appreciate that same professional courtesy. State brokers, your internal company broker and staff, and then company trainings and meetings. This is a really great way to get your listings out there, to make sure that people know that you've got buyers that are looking for specific needs. We often don't think about talking to our colleagues, and our colleagues quite often are our very best referral source, especially if you have a property that's been difficult to sell, or you have a buyer that's been difficult to please. Make some phone calls, talk to some people, talk to some more successful real estate agents. This gives you a great open door to see what kind of business they're doing, and also see the way that they're lead generating. When you let them know, hey, listen, I just attended this great seminar about 101 ways to lead generate, and one of the things we talked about was talking more to our colleagues. That's going to pique their interest as well. It shows your level of professionalism. You know, every other profession in the world, doctors work with other doctors all the time. They understand the power of those colleague relationships. I think as real estate agents, that's a place that we can really make a commitment to do a whole lot better at. Financial planner, oh my gosh, again, financial planners know wealthy people, correct? It's that common theme where y'all hearing that over and over from me, I didn't realize that. But I'm telling you, your financial planners, the people that you're already doing business with, they have clients that have real estate needs. Many of them are going to suggest that their clients purchase real estate and to invest in real estate. So this is a great opportunity when you have a new investment property. Call every financial planner you know. Hey, listen, do you have a client that might be looking for something? The more that you can make sure that these folks are thinking about you, the more likely they are to be thinking about you as well. It goes both ways. Stockbrokers, the exact same thing. You know, these people are always talking to their people about diversification. The more people that you can talk to that work with people that are affluent, people that have investments, people that are looking to build portfolios, the quicker you're going to see your business grow and explode. Professional builders, Regis, and shared office space. So our company, eXp Realty, has a nationwide relationship with Regis Office Suites, and it's really kind of one of those secret weapons that eXp offers to us. When I owned my Century 21 franchise, you know, who was I hanging out with all day long? Other real estate agents, right? When I went to Keller Williams, who was I hanging out with all day long? Other real estate agents. You know that not one of those Keller Williams agents in my office ever referred me a single deal. Does that surprise anybody? Yeah, that's one of the really powerful things about Regis Office Suites. One of our partners in the California market, when Keller Williams jacked up their rent, went to work for Regis before he joined eXp. And so he was thrilled when he joined eXp to know that he could get massive discounts, and a lot of times you can use the spaces for free. The general areas are always free for eXp agents. But what he found is that his business skyrocketed because suddenly, instead of hanging out with a bunch of real estate agents all day long, he was hanging out with other white-collar professionals. And the real power of Regis Office Suites is that about half of the Fortune 500 companies have relationships with Regis Office Suites, and the people that are using those are companies that are in some sort of transition. So, for example, in the great state of Texas, whenever oil skyrocketed, you know, with all the fracking and all that kind of stuff going on in the Eagle Ford Shale area, well, the oil companies couldn't get locations fast enough, so they moved their executives into Regis Office Suites temporarily. And then whenever the fracking and all of that kind of went the other direction, guess what? They phased out the offices that they had, and they moved those executives back into Regis Office Centers. So think about what it would be like to be going to work every day, hanging out with other white-collar professionals that are in some sort of a transition. I'm telling you, with Regis Office Suites, you are going to be amazed at the caliber of people that you're going to meet, and you're going to be amazed at what should happen to your real estate business as well. And plus, the conversations are different too, because you're not just talking about real estate. Hotels, okay. So for those of us that spend a lot of time in hotels, talk to the concierge, talk to the front desk person, talk to the manager, talk to the head, the person that does their hiring. These can be tremendous referral sources for you. This can be a massive, massive, massive gold mine. And again, the law of reciprocity. Make sure that you're going to tell that hotel, well, listen, whenever we've got people that are moving and relocating, we want to make sure that your hotel is the first one that we talk to them about. These people are connectors. They tend to be very, very social people. They tend to know a lot of people within the community. And they also, especially like big convention hotels, they're seeing a lot of people that are coming in and out on a transient kind of basis for events. That can be a huge referral source for you as well. Rental car companies. You know, this is one that I was kind of surprised that Jean threw in there, but I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Rental car people often see people whenever they are absolutely at the first start of whatever transition that they're in the middle of. And I will tell you that those rental car people, to have somebody come in smiling, bringing a box of donuts, saying, hey, listen, can I just leave some of my business cards here? You've got all these little flyers over here in the corner. Can I just put some of my cards here? I'd sure appreciate it. And of course, I'll make sure that all of my clients, when they come in house hunting, use your rental car company as well. Uber, Lyft, and taxis. This, to me, from a recruiting standpoint, because I, you know, of course, with eXp, there's a big residual income, so we have a vested interest in recruiting real estate agents. How many of you have ever been in an Uber or a Lyft, and like the person was a real estate agent on the side? I mean, yeah, a whole bunch of us have had that experience. Yeah, so that's where I really use this. But again, these people know people that are in transition, and they can be, and it's really easy if you give them a bunch of your cards, you know, just have them sit them right there on their dash. Blogging and video blogging. Now, I will tell you that we have several of our colleagues with eXp that are absolutely killing it with blogging and video blogging. It is one of the things that our company teaches and really encourages agents to go deep with. This is, without any question, a way to make yourself show to the world that you are the real estate professional. And this can be done in a super fun way. So it's very simple. When you take a new listing, you know, talk about, you just go in and instead of writing a description, I mean, you're going to do that anyway, but do a little quick video. Do a Facebook Live. The Facebook Lives are getting more views than anything else that you can do. And any kind of blogging that you're doing about the real estate market, about what's going on, and there's all kinds of, you know, our company also has a relationship with Breakthrough Broker. and Breakthrough Broker provides us with free free blogs that we can use and just kind of customize to our specific marketplaces. There's all kinds of services out there for real estate agents that'll give you the templates, and you just plug in your basic information. And what you're doing is showing to the world that you are the real estate expert out there. Also, whenever you're doing video blogging and regular blogging and adding that onto your website, it's going to help your website on organic search engines. This right here is the absolute easiest way to really see your colleagues see you as a real estate professional, and certainly the people in your areas as well. Facebook. Oh my gosh. Again, I know I talk about EXP a whole lot, but EXP has all EXP agents get conversion for free. We're going to talk about that. But they've got this really cool little feature where you can boost posts, right? So let's say that you take a listing in, I don't know, like in my subdivision, in San Antonio, it was called the Dominion, right? So I could take a listing in the Dominion, and then with conversion, I could actually post that property in specific groups that people that live in the Dominion would be a part of. So whether it's the high school, or whether maybe it's a local sports team, or whether it's a local restaurant, or local garage sales, or anything like that, swap meets, even on next door, things like that. That is going to be a huge, huge, huge way, again, for the community to see you as the real estate expert. And you know what? That's free. Can I get a hallelujah on that? Yeah. So that's one of the wonderful things that you can do, is to really capitalize on the use of social media. And as we all know, especially if there's lots of pictures and it's visually entertaining, this is going to get you a lot of mileage. In addition to doing things like posting your listings, you can get a lot of mileage by just going to a restaurant and doing a quick little, hey, I just did this big event at Gagno's. If you're ever planning a big event, the staff was great to work with. Do some little shows around. We had a really great time last night at the restaurant. We did some Facebook Lives and things like that too. And again, what you're doing is you're showing that you're a real person, and that you go out and that you have some fun, and you're showing a level of prosperity too. So make sure that your Facebook page is not all business, because there's nothing more boring than that. And the more social that you can look, the more business you are going to do. Instagram. I learned some really cool things about Instagram last night too. The word on the street is this is probably going to be the thing that's going to replace Facebook for a whole lot of people. It has for a lot of different demographics, that's for sure, especially younger people. So this is a fun thing to learn. And again, it makes you look social, it makes you look fun. It's a great way to really build your real estate business. Talk about the trials and tribulations of being a real estate agent. Talk about what's going on in your community. Talk about the basic stuff that everybody deals with. And then every once in a while, sneak in a little bit about one of the properties that you're listing, or perhaps the buyer that you're looking for a specific home. And of course, Pinterest. Actually, for women, Pinterest is one of the most, for affluent women, Pinterest is one of the most used websites out there. And so there's all kinds of fun things that you can do, like beautiful doors of Tampa's, or beautiful yards of Tampa's, great landscaping, fabulous restaurants within a 5-mile radius of such and such high school. The more that you can make sure that you're looking like the real estate expert in a specific subdivision, a specific area, or with a specific demographics, the more money you're going to make and the more fun you're going to have with your real estate career. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Don.
All right, thank you, Tracy.
Thank you.
How was that, guys? So I just got to leave fresh off. I told you, how would you like to wake up for a lead every day? This is Traci Gagnon, one of my agents out in San Diego, California. Good morning, Tom. I have a buyer here in San Diego that is going to be selling a condo in Boston. Can I refer them to you? What do you think I'm going to say? Right? Isn't that cool? That's a real lead right now. All right. Twitter. Same idea with Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest. You got to condense it to a very short period, a short character, right? Make it really to the point, and then drive them to another website. Drive them to a video, drive them to a link, and that Twitter allows you to do that. Okay. I love the National Association of Realtors. Who's a realtor in this room? Who's a proud realtor? Awesome. Got to get involved with your realtor board. I'm telling you, if you aren't serving in a capacity, please get involved. The association needs it. We need more voices out there to promote ethical behavior and moral behavior, how to sell houses. But when you start to serve, you also receive leads. You wouldn't believe the amount of referrals I give and I get through the Realtor party. Okay? All the different designations, GRI, CRS, right? Certified Residential Specialist, WCR, and so on and so forth. Get your designations that basically elevates you in your status. I'm a CRS, Certified Residential Specialist. CRS is the ranked, CRSs are ranked top 3 in the nation for sales volume, and only 3% of agents have that designation. It's part of one of the hardest ones to get. It's like the PhD of real estate. When you get these designations, number 1, you're showing your clients, you're taking your business very seriously, and number 2, you're continuing your education. Okay? But you also meet agents and instructors from other areas that will give you leads as well. Build that database. Make sure you drip on them. In the same consumer relationship management database that you use to serve your clients, you want to also serve your fellow realtors, because there's a lot of leads that comes. That's evidenced by Tracy, who just gave you one from San Diego. Wedding conventions. Have you ever taken a booth out at a wedding convention, right? So you're there with the table, just like the wedding planners and the cakes and the DJs. Why not have a real estate? Aren't they going to look for a house after they get married? Okay? And you walk the convention floor, and you make sure you introduce yourselves to all those other vendors, right? Because they also have access to people who will call them afterwards, and hopefully they remember you as the realtor of choice. I love working open houses. Open houses to me is where I help my team, and I can build a lot of business. This is my secret to open houses. Before the open house, make sure you drive at least 2 to 3 other properties in the neighborhood, so you actually see the comparables. Because do you think the buyers come to the open house just to buy that house? No, they're seeing every other home. And so if you drove 2, 3 other properties before the open house, and you do your open house, and as they walk in the door, you say, hey, listen, I'm here to answer your questions, right? And by the way, I don't even give out flyers anymore. If they want a house flyer, I say, what's your cell phone or what's your email? And I text it to them or email it to them, because I have the right information. It goes right to my database. Little secret there. No more having to print out flyers. Because you know what they're going to do with those flyers? When they leave, right? Gone. Right? But if you text it to them and you emailed it to them, you have their information. At the open houses, you say, hey, if this isn't the home for you, guess what? Have you seen the one 2 blocks over? Have you seen that one? You want a newer kitchen? Let's go see that one. My open house ends at 1 p.m. I can get you in at 1:05. Would you like to meet me over there? You like that? If you aren't doing that, you're wasting your time working open houses. You got to know your neighborhood. As a matter of fact, before I go on a listing appointment, I drive my neighborhood. Dick and I just picked up a $2.2 million listing. Okay? And you know how we beat the competition? I live 26 miles away from this home. Okay? And we're competing with a very highly successful local Coldwell Banker team. They put out the prettiest brochures. They have a team of 4. I'm traveling across the country. Dick's wife is sort of newer in the business. And we answered the objection, well, how many houses have you sold, right? In this neighborhood? None. Well, they sold 7, over $1 million in the last 12 months. How are you gonna do better? Well, if they sold 7, let me ask you, when they showed, I'm the last guy in, right? Yep, you're the last guy in. Let me ask you, did they tell you about any of these 3 properties that just sold last week? Did they walk through that house? How do you know if they're gonna give you the right price to list it? How do you know they're not gonna list it so high to get you to price to reduce it afterwards? Do you know how long your house is gonna sit on the market for? Let me show you my days on market compared to that team's days on market. Of course, mine is shorter. And I'm gonna work harder. If they have 7 listings, who's gonna work harder? They didn't even bother to drive the comps. I did. As a matter of fact, I can get you into it right now, because I've seen these houses. So we know how to price a house properly, so you can sell it right. As a matter of fact, you should be able to get multiple offers, right? And I also do door knocking and everything else. So I can sell the other way as well. If I'm the guy that controls the neighborhood, I can just crush that other agent as well. So you have different ways to sell the product, okay? Networking groups, BNI. Who knows what BNI stands for? Who's been in BNI before? Business Networking International. They meet, usually in Boston, they meet 7 a.m. on a Wednesday morning, right? Only two, it's like Noah's Ark, only two per group, right? And so, great referral source to realtors, to attorneys, to bankers, to attorneys, to lenders, to mortgage companies, to moving companies, so on and so forth. And if there's already a B&I in your neighborhood, start one. Why should those two realtors in that B&I group control your entire neighborhood and you can't get in? Start a new one. Got it? Billboards. If you go to my YouTube channel, you'll find I had the billboard once. When I was building my business. Big fat billboard. It was awesome. But I didn't get much business from that. It's really to feed my ego, but the billboards worked when I knocked on the doors. When after I went door knocking, the kid comes out, "Mommy, that's him!" Then it worked. But if you don't go door knocking, it might not work so well. All right. When was the last time you guys ran ads in the local newspaper or the local magazine or in local theaters? Agents don't do it anymore. We go online. I'm telling you, I'm not doing it right now, but we have agents in our system who advertise in newspapers now. Go where the others are not going and the business will be there. So just think about that. If that local newspaper still has a large distribution, ask them how many homes are still getting papers delivered to their home today. And if it's large enough and you open up the newspaper, there's no real estate agents advertising, start thinking about advertising again. Because those people are paying for the newspapers to be delivered, aren't they? And they're reading them, aren't they? And if they don't see a real estate agent in there, go ahead, Jennifer. Go ahead. Come on, girl, you can do this.
Hi, everyone, I'm Jennifer.
1 week with EXP.
I want to add some comment about the newspaper because I just started for the newspaper, but in Chinese version, and it gets some response.
Okay, she said she advertises in her native language in Chinese, and she's gotten responses. Yes, absolutely, right? Because if they speak a foreign language and they can't get the material on regular radio or TV, which is all in English, you just found a niche market. Good job. Also local TV, local radio. Let's see, who has been on a radio show or a TV show? Tracy. Yes. How did it work for you? Local radio and TV to advertise yourself. Brilliant?
It's really good.
It's really good. Yeah. Why not, right? You're going on, you're giving information, you're educating, you're teaching, and then your name gets out there. Okay? And if you're really good, which I'm pretty sure you are, you make sure you get that recording and you put it on your YouTube channel, your Facebook channel, and everything else. So it lasts, there's shelf life for that one short half-hour show. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Brand everything, guys. Just make sure you brand. If you're in this business, do it. Right? When my daughter turned 18 and she got her real estate license, instead of wearing someone else's brand, I said, Olivia, how much are they paying you to brand them? You know how much daddy's paying for your college? All right? Restaurants. Restaurant owners and workers, they have people coming into town all the time. Hey, we're new in this neighborhood. We just came to check out your restaurant, right? Get to know them because they'll be able to give you some referrals. And I love charities. I give back to an organization called the Asian Real Estate Association of America. Right, I'm this year's national president. There's 17,000 of us across the country, 39 chapters, and I travel to give back to our charity, to our organization. And because I do that, I can tell you the leads keep coming. I do it because I do it for the love of the community, but because I give, I also get. Yes? All right, so find your charity, find your passion, give of yourself. Don't expect much, but it will come. Teach agent classes. Are we teaching you here? If you guys have a referral in Boston, will you give it to me, please? And ask for the business. Right? So, when you log into a hotel or a restaurant and you get their free Wi-Fi, does something pop up beforehand? Right? That's advertising. You guys can go ahead and buy the Wi-Fi advertising in those restaurants or hotels and stuff. Ask them, do you sell the ad space? before someone gets into the Wi-Fi, or even if they, you know, maybe you could say, hey, if you click on, I'll give you free Wi-Fi, I'll pay for the Wi-Fi. I mean, how much is Wi-Fi service? How much you guys pay at home? Pay for that, but then make sure the local retailer puts your logo up right before they log in. Cool? Doesn't cost you much, but how many people go to coffee shops all the time looking for Wi-Fi? Farm and area. So we talk about that, about door knocking and sending out flyers and stuff. So my little tip for agents, if you plan on farm or market, you gotta stick to it for 9 months or more. Do not waste your time. If you think you're gonna do it 2 weeks, 2 mailers, 3 mailers, and then quit, and then expect a return. Okay? I say 9 months or more before you really start seeing your return. So whatever investment it is, look at it for the long haul. Okay? It's gonna take you a lot of work to get my clients to switch to you, even though you farm on them for 2 to 3 months. But if I forget to get in touch with them, because my CRM didn't get in touch with them on the 7th month, and you've been farming them for 8 months, maybe they would call you instead of calling me now because I forgot about them. Yeah? Okay. Teach classes for clients at their companies. Can we teach first-time home buyer classes? Can we teach about real estate investments, how to go ahead and buy a multifamily to earn residual income? Can we teach about, you know, how to downsize? If you're thinking about downsizing, you know, here's what you should do first, so on and so forth. We as real estate professionals should do a lot of educating. Okay, networking, localized networking and business networking organizations. There's tons of them out there, not just real estate related, but all sorts of networking events. So get out there. Again, if you're brand new in the business and you're still trying to build a book of business, 25 hours a week. You work 40 hours, you got no clients anyhow, so go out and start networking, right? You still got 15 hours a week to sit around doing nothing. Yes? And if you're a seasoned agent, you still need to get out there 1 hour a day, 5 hours a week. That's very fair. Okay? If I don't go networking, I'm constantly on my phone. When I'm in my car in Massachusetts, it's okay to talk while I'm on the phone. Just can't text. So I'm dialing for dollars. I'm calling. Hey Jim. Hey Joe. Hey Jennifer. You know, what's up? How's business? How's the house? Hey, you bought the house 5 years ago. I remember the roof was about 25 years old, and I think that is a 30-year roof. Do you need my help to try to get it? A roofing contractor while it's slow right now before the summer sets in. Does that make sense? You know, when I was really building the business, and at the height of my business, I sold a lot more than 15 million. All right, but when I was really building my business, I would take my home inspection, and I would go through how old is the water heater, how old is the roof, how old is the heating system, how old is this, and then I would put it in my CRM. With a date to remind me 6 months before I think it's going to have, before the end of its life. And then the CRM sends me an email that morning reminding me, hey Tom, you know, call Tyler, his roof is 25 years old, it's a 30-year roof, call him and see how the roof is doing. And he's gonna be very impressed when I call him, you know, 10 years later, because I remember how old his roof was, or how old the water tank is. Most water tanks last 10 years, 15 years, okay? So you want to make sure you put the date in your system that says call them in 8 years before the 10 year is up, before they have an accident. And then it's an emergency, you're paying 5 times more because, you know, you're calling in the middle of the night. Yes? Are you being a real estate professional when you do that? Not just an average salesman that gets forgotten a year later or 2 years later? Okay. Sponsor sports clubs. My buddy Dick Lee here. Tell us about sponsor sports club. You sponsor a sports club, right? How many leagues do you get?
So I sponsor a sports club. I sponsored a Little League team, a league, both Little League and softball, and it pays back massively. There was a slide earlier about you know, local sports. So when my kids were in Little League, you know, I paid $200 a team. Then I sponsored different leagues, because you only sponsor one team in each division. You know, T-ball, AA, single A, triple A, into the majors. And then I sponsor a Babe Ruth team as well too. So it pays back massively. I just have a sign in the center field wall right next to the state championship for it was 2013 and 2015 for Massachusetts. And it's kids see it every day, parents see it every day, and the parents will help you because you're helping their children. That's really what it comes down to. So, yes, to this day I still get calls. I probably get, I don't know, 12, 13 leads a week. You know, they turn into buyers or sellers.
Yes. Yes.
I'm just throwing this out there because I'm a board member at Florida Hawks FC official, and because of conflict of interest, I can't sponsor, but I am the sponsorship director. So if any of you want we're looking for sponsors, and we just had a board meeting last night. We're looking for jersey sponsors. So if anyone's interested.
Thank you for that. Right? Just
Should
ask
change the bylaws.
jersey sponsors. Okay.
Change the bylaws.
So take advantage of the sports teams, right? Parents love when their kids play sports. Do they all show up and cheer them on? Do they skip work to try to get there? Right? And there it is, right down center field is Dick Lee's company. Right? Move-in parties. Who's thrown a move-in party for their clients? Okay, you guys gotta do more. I'm telling you, this is something that I do religiously. At the closing table, I said, listen, after you get settled in, I want you to have the best housewarming party ever on me. I have $500, basically, if it's under $500,000, I give them $500. Okay, if it's more than $500,000, I give them $1,000 for a move-in party. Okay, you just give me the list of the people who's going to come. If you want my help, I'll print the invitations. I'll make my daughters send it out for you, handwrite it, stamp it. Home, right? Housewarming party. I will bring balloons. I will bring cake, and whatever's left over, you can use to buy food and drink. Hire your own catering, and I show up, and my team shows up. Is that a well worth investment? $500 to $1,000 to meet all their friends and all their family who they're celebrating, then move in. It's gold. Move-in parties. Okay, and the before the market preview. I talked about that when we're doing the open houses. Right? Before the market preview, or neighborhood preview is what we call it. Okay? The rattlesnake removed. This is one of my buddy, Gene Frederick's friend. Okay? He's in the rattlesnake business. He removes rattlesnakes for a living. That's why he's leaving that. It's becoming a real toy. So he's leaving that business, becoming a real toy. But boy, that's his trademark. The point we're ending here is whatever you do, whatever your hobbies are, make it fun, make it memorable, and then he's known as the rattlesnake realtor. Okay, that's good, right? Okay, what do you guys think? Got some value today? Woo! I hope you guys take this really. I encourage you 20%. Pick 20 of these items and implement them this year. Don't do all 80. Pick what fits you. Even 20 is a lot, okay? And your business should really skyrocket. Most importantly, consumer relationship management database. You've got to organize all of your data. If you don't organize it, you're gonna never win that rat race. You're gonna always win that rat race. Okay, so what's happening next? Do we have, let's see, what happened to Don Troy and,
You know what, these books are for sale, they're $10 each.
Oh, yeah, I was just-
Sorry, but
yes, so the books, we have books